Joining us, Jay Timmons, President and Chief Executive Officer of the National Association of Manufacturers. And this is great, folks. He's got this bio that's like 6 pages long. And Lisa, just like, I mean, this is what Sweeney would expect. Paragraph, paragraph, paragraph. And then there's a single line, and then there's more paragraphs. The single line is, I went to the Ohio State University. And, you know, Jake, last time you were in was weird. We got a huge response. And the bottom line is you are hardwired. You're in Virginia now, the corporate thing, and that with the National Association of Manufacturers. But you understand the tradition of Detroit down the interstates and manufacturing America. What's the #1 myth that the public gets wrong about manufacturing in America?
Well, that it's taken for granted, right? That we're always going to be making things, and that's not necessarily the case. You got to have the right policies in place, and we've had a run of really good policies this year that has helped manufacturers have more confidence in investing and hiring in America. But those things aren't given. It should never be taken for granted.
So. Talk to us about the manufacturing economy in the U.S. right now. It's in contraction. It's been for a while. Talk to us about what you're seeing out there.
Yeah, it's funny because you do see that data. There's no question about that, Paul. But I hear from my members. We just had a board meeting last week. I've got a very small, discreet board of directors, 250 members of America's industrial.
That's a lot of sink.
It's like a little Congress, but you get a lot of great
we
feedback.
call it the French government, actually. But continue.
Well, I'm hoping we have more stability than that one. So what I'm hearing from them is a lot of optimism, right? That we have the conditions that are ripe for investment and job creation, but there is still some pause in that, and especially when it comes to tariffs and workforce policies.
So how are the manufacturers out there dealing with the uncertainty with tariffs, maybe the workforce issues with migrant labor no longer being a supply of labor? How are they dealing with that? Yeah, so it's an interesting conundrum for manufacturers because manufacturers, by and large, certainly from what I've seen, and of course there are always exceptions, but I've always seen manufacturers following the rules. They're by the book. They're hiring legal, labor that has all the right papers. But when other sectors of the economy see a hollowing out of some of their workers, we're suddenly competing for labor. And today we've got 400,000 open jobs in the sector. Wow. And we've talked about it in the past, Tom, and we're always trying to attract that next generation. That number is going to grow to 2 million by the year 2033.
Okay, this is the heart of the matter. I interviewed Senator Grassley years ago. I think he was young then. He was like 82 at the time. And he's a former welder out of Iowa in World War II. And the cliche is we don't have enough welders. The politicians are signing deals saying, we're going to take high manufacturing Asia and bring it over here. Jay Timmons, do we have the warm bodies to build an Asia-like manufacturing force?
Today, no, but that doesn't mean we can't get there. And we have to prioritize the right things. You and I have talked about trade schools in the past and the importance of trade schools and community colleges and really orienting our...
How are they doing now? I mean, there was BOCES in New York State, BOC.
I think, it's growing, right? It's getting, getting there. That is the challenge we have. It's important to make sure that young people know what cool opportunities, you use the word cool, I say sexy, opportunities are available in manufacturing today. More importantly, it's getting their parents to understand that as well, because oftentimes parents will say, hey, we want you to go in this direction or that direction. They don't realize what great opportunities exist in manufacturing.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, this is the heart of the matter. The parents want them to take Lockean philosophy at Duke. And the kids, what's the average salary of one of those kids? You took 5 years out?
Yeah, so it's like, well, it's around $100,000.
So they're talking 6-figure incomes moving a wrench.
Yep, no college
That's a stereotype,
debt, presumably. So, Jay, what are the key challenges for you and for manufacturers today?
So let's start with the opportunities, right? So we had great we had great news this year when we got the tax reforms made permanent.
Right. Yep.
That really helps supercharge, I think, optimism. Regulatory modernization has been good for manufacturing. The president's focus on the administration's focus on energy dominance has been very positive. But the greatest challenges are, as we just talked about, workforce, but also the uncertainty of the current tariff policies that are happening in this country and the added costs that come with that. I would tell you this, the one thing that we're really watching closely. The president clearly wants to grow manufacturing capacity in this country. Well, so do we, right? That's my job. In order to do that, we've had our economists crunch some numbers. If we had every machine running in this country today, we would only be able to make 84% of the critical inputs necessary to build that new factory.
So what would you say to Donald Trump? I mean, what would you say to the president about this? I don't want a photo shoot on the White House lawn of some big tractor trailer like we're Manly and we're going to get the vote in Ohio. You're the reality. What do you say to the president or the next president?
Yeah, help us help you do this, right? So, and the way to do
LBJ tax credits?
The way to do it is to look at those critical inputs that you need. So think in terms of machines, right? And the administration just announced a 232 investigation on machinery that would add tariffs. Well, if you're tariffing that product, and the purpose of that product is help build new manufacturing capacity, that doesn't seem to add up. So if we have some sort of a speed pass that allows us to bring that equipment in duty-free to build manufacturing capacity, we think that it's a win-win for both.
Common sense.
You don't see that in the zeitgeist.
No, it's just common sense.
Well, we've been talking. Listen, we've been talking to the administration. We're getting some good response about exactly that. Targeted focus on making sure that we can bring in the right things to build manufacturing.
Please come back again. I mean, we start strong in this hour. Sebastian Page and Jay Timmons, and we should have had both of them for like an hour each.
I'll always come back if you always say the Ohio State University.
The Ohio State. They look pretty good this year. I mean, there's all these upsets in this, and Ohio State is just like normal Ohio State.
We've got to wait to see what happens with the big game right after
When
Thanksgiving.
you were an undergraduate, this is like what Michael Barr used to do in Detroit. Did you drink in every bar in that corridor of bars?
So there was a bar called Larry's there that I did once in a while frequent.
Yeah. What was the beverage of your choice?
Sadly, well, I was young enough, or I'm old enough that legal age was 18, so I drank tequila.
There you go.
But I have to tell you,
Salsa Green Label.
But I have to tell you,
what are you laughing
whatever the
about
cheapest is. I have to tell you, I was a geek, so I went around the state starting Young Republican clubs. So
very good.
Didn't really have all the fun.
Jay, Lisa and I, surveillance correction, folks. Mateo and I, it's Salsa White Label. It's more chewy than the green. The rich kids had the green label, and we had the white label.
We also had grain alcohol, which was a really bad.
That's Ohio.
A southern thing. That's like Paul's familiar with that. Jay Timmons, thank you so much.